Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 4, aka the final season of the show. So, as we should all know by now, hopefully, we are a decent distance away from the commencement of Season 4, which is, as I said, also the final season of Superman and Lois. Well, I say a decent distance away, but it's probably going to be maybe like roughly an early October premiere for Superman and Lois, and we're already in the back half of June. So October will probably be here, pretty damn quickly when you think about it. Of course, a trailer is what many are wondering about, and hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, but that's just fingers crossed. But until either the trailer dropping or just the show starting to air its final season, we did actually get some new teasers for the upcoming final season of the show from Lois Lane herself, that of course being Bitsy Tulloch, this being from the Superman Celebrations festival / event that happens every year. So we will go over all the major things that Bitsy brought up, some to do with the premiere of the season, so episode 1, then some stuff to do with Lex Luthor as the main villain this time around, a surprise guest star apparently, and a bit more. But of course throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and everything we go over. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking and any guesses or theories in regards to what Bitsy could be teasing. Let me know in the comments, and of course if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show support, drop a like. Takes 2 seconds. So the first thing that was brought up by Bitsy at this event was some stuff just to do with the entire season, because there's been this big question about how the season is going to play on, because we knew going into it that we were losing a lot of series regulars, everyone except the Kent family, and I guess to an extent Lex Luthor, though last season he wasn't a series regular, but this season he is. So this season he's a series regular along with the Kents, but no one else is. And that's obviously, in regards to having that series regular tag on it. Of course, people are going to be showing up in more episodes than one, but that doesn't make you a series regular. And what Bitsy said is that every episode of this season, so from episode 1, the premiere, through to episode 10, the finale, every episode is going to have a former series regular in it. Now, I heard some people mishear this and make it seem I guess people assume that, or just, I guess the way that they heard it was that all the series regulars are in every episode, but she said that every episode has a former series regular in it. So episode 1 has at least one of those former series regulars in it. So does episode 2, all the way through to episode 10 has at least one of those former series regulars in it. And of course, we know that some of the episodes will have multiple. And many do believe that we are going to get it almost, I guess you could say, broken up into farewell segments, with it looking to be that Sam Lane or General Sam Lane leaves the show first, then Sarah at some point, then Kyle and Chrissy, and then finally John Henry and Lana, as we know that those two characters of John Henry and Lana are in the series finale. We saw them in set photos. Now, of course, Natalie Irons is another series regular that's going to be showing up this season, or former series regular that's going to be showing up this season. We know that she's in episode 8, but I don't think there was anything confirming her being in the series finale. But then again, her father's in that episode, so you'd assume that maybe she's there as well, but who knows how things play out. I don't know if there's any need to have her there. Maybe but it seems at least John Henry and Lana play into it. But then again, she has a suit, and if it's a big battle, she could be included. So I would assume she's in the finale, but we'll wait and see. We just know that she's in episode 8 at the very least. In that episode, as well, is her father John. But yeah, I'd assume it plays out roughly something like that. But once again, it's wait and see once the season starts airing. A quote from Bitsy was that episode 1 is bananas. Now, she also did reveal that episode 1, I don't know if it's just specifically episode 1, it sounds like it based off what she's saying there, but maybe the majority of it is in episode 1, then there's some carry on in the following episodes, but at least episode 1 is based off one of the comics and is a bold move to do in the first episode or the premiere for the season. Now, as you'd expect, based off the ending of last season, when we had Superman vs. Doomsday, many people believe that this comic that the first episode is based off is that of Death of Superman. Now, that would be bold. I guess they use the funeral for Superman and stuff like that. Now, that would be bold. That's definitely a bold move. But I think if it's just a take on that comic and the events surrounding it and how the world reacts to Superman not being there anymore, and how not only the public but also the people around Superman adjust to that, or at least they're not being a sign of Superman, it would open up the door to a lot of different things happening, or at least some interesting things happening, and especially in a premiere, just a lot of stuff going bang, 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 and it just stays very active, such as Jordan taking on a larger role as Superboy, and we know that he is in action early in this season, not just episode 1, but even some of the following episodes as well, due to some stuff posted on social media where he's in that suit that he got last season. So it will be very interesting to see how that plays out in, I guess, specifically episode one, if that's what's happening, because a lot of people didn't want it to happen, but because of the end of last season, you can have like a take on it where Superman isn't really dead, he's just missing. It's more like the where is Superman rather than death of Superman, because I think that's probably what's going to happen. I don't think we're actually going to see Superman die necessarily. It's just more that he's missing. I still like the fact, I like the thought or the theory that him and Doomsday fight. It happens on the dark side of the moon, because that's, I think, where they landed at the end of last season. Of course, no sun hits the dark side of the moon, so if he's injured, he can't repower himself through the sun. So he's sort of stuck there for a bit, and then maybe at some point, sun hits him, or I don't know what would happen, something along those lines, and he's able to come back, or someone goes looking for him. I don't know what it might be, but I like the idea of that happening rather than him actually properly dying and then some weird regeneration stuff. I'd rather him just be incapacitated. That's probably the best way to put it. So the incapacitation of Superman, that's a storyline we want. The next thing that Bitsy brought up is that episode 3, which is going to be directed by her husband, David Quintoli. She said that episode 3 is an emotional episode for Lois Lane specifically, which makes, obviously it's episode 3, so it's only obviously a couple of episodes after episode 1 where, this quote-unquote death of Superman potential storyline is happening. So if it's an emotional one for her, what's happening in that story? Is it just specifically in regards to her? Or is it involving something to do with Superman or even the family? Like, is this the episode where maybe like Superman actually properly returns in the present day? Or maybe it's just something that makes her think that he is really gone. Like maybe they actually can't find anything and she actually thinks that Superman is legitimately dead. And also here's the other option. Maybe it's through flashbacks. Maybe we get some very emotional things happening in the flashbacks, which also connect to the present day. But maybe a lot of that emotion is triggered by the flashbacks. We know there's going to be at least a decent amount of flashbacks, especially Daily Planet ones, because of course that's where like Jimmy Olsen, for example, is going to fold into things. And of course with Lex Luthor as the main villain, you would assume they'd flashback to their earlier meetings with this character. So maybe that's where the emotional stuff is triggered by, but once again, it's a wait and see. But in regards to Lex Luthor, Bitsy also did say that Lex Luthor has a heavy presence in this season, and that Michael Cudlitz, who of course is playing Lex, is so good, so terrifying. Of course, we knew or know that he's going to have a heavy presence because of course he's the main character, but it does seem like, I think we first saw like a post from Michael Cudlitz when they were filming episode 2 or really towards the end of episode 1 maybe, and he said like he was like back there, I think he'd like freshly shaved his head and stuff but kept the beard and everything for his interpretation of Lex Luthor heading into this season. So I'm very intrigued as to see how that plays out. And of course, I'm not expecting Lex to have like an exosuit or anything like that. I think this is going to be very grounded, or at least like bare bones Lex, if you want to put it, but also maybe going to the levels that he was before he went into prison. That's where I expect him to go. So start up Luthor again and everything like that. I'll get more involved with Luthor because from what we know, Luthor's actually gone above and beyond since he went into prison. It's actually gotten better as an establishment in the company. So yeah, I'm just very intrigued to see how he folds into that and then how he uses that to his benefit to not only potentially go after Lois early on to this season, because we don't know if like Superman's incapacitated and missing and presumed dead. Does Lex even bother going after Lois anymore? Or does he actually go, no, this is the time to get Lois because Superman's not there to defend her? So that can make him even more scary and Lois even more vulnerable. Not only because she doesn't have Superman to protect her, but also because she's lost Superman, or she thinks she's lost Superman at the same time. So emotionally, she's very vulnerable. She's just thinking her husband's just died, and then Lex is coming after her at the same time. So he could be a pain in the ass, if you want to put it. Now, Bitsy at the same time, when she was talking about Lex, also did say that a character will be returning at some point, a surprise character that some, won't expect, or just someone that you wouldn't expect to show up again. So that makes you go, someone that you wouldn't expect to show up again? Like, who the hell is that? Because, of course, we know all the former series regulars are coming back. So it makes you think, is it someone that's dead? Of course, Bizarro turned into Doomsday, so you wouldn't assume it's Bizarro. Is it someone from the Bizarro Earth? Of course, Tal-Ro went over there, so does Tal-Ro show up again? I think that's a lot of people's top picks, that it's Tal-Ro. But then again, would people expect him to show up? Or at least have a thought that, okay, maybe this guy could show up. So it makes you wonder who the hell it's going to be. Of course, is it maybe Diggle? Now, here's the big thing. Someone put this here. I saw it online. I thought that would be an interesting way to do it. And I guess you could do it where it was the Bizarro. I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd be trippy. But someone said the OG Jonathan, which of course was played by Jordan Elsas, or Elsas. Now, of course, he left after season 2 due to some, hasn't been confirmed exactly why it was. But he just didn't come back for some personal reasons or some issues that were going back and forth, whatever it was. But he has been seen like hanging out with some of the cast. He does go to the various comic conventions. Like he's at more of them than the guy who plays Jonathan now, and he's like hanging out with like Tyler Hoechlin and even Alex Garfin who plays Jordan on the show. So there's no bad blood there, and I don't know if there's any bad blood between him and the showrunner or the showrunners for the show, and maybe it was just more something to do with specifically people in charge of the CW at the time or whatever it is. I'm not too sure. So people wondering if it's him. Now that would be really trippy if he showed up, and I don't even know how you would do that. This was like him playing another character. I don't even know how you would do that, because even if it was the Bizarro version, it really wouldn't make sense because it's meant to look like Jonathan, like that would be the Jonathan now. So I don't even know how they would do that. It'd be trippy if they did that, but people think that that could be the case there. But I don't know, do you think that's possible? Maybe the OG Jonathan returns as Jonathan or another character? I don't know, you have to let me know. And obviously another option is that it is someone like Diggle, as I mentioned before, or a previous Arrowverse character. But then also it's very important to remember, because we did mention this, I want to say a month ago, because Tom Cavanagh had brought it up at a convention, that he said he's showing up as a character. So this could be most likely who Bitsy's talking about. If I had to pick one, that's why I've left it as last, it would probably be him, just because he said he's going to be in the show. And that like Todd Helbing had said like, well, there's no directing spots left, but you can guest star as a character on this show. And we don't know if it's specifically the finale, because he didn't straight up say it's the finale, but it was when talking about the finale. So I don't know if that means Tom Cavanagh showing up in the finale or it's something else, but this is most likely the guest character or the guest actor appearance that Bitsy's talking about. But maybe it's also from someone prior, like in the show, like from season 1, 2, or even 3 or something like that. But that's a wait and see. But my money would be on Tom Cavanagh, just because it's already been said previously. And the final thing to bring up, this wasn't brought up by Bitsy the thing, but it's, and I sort of mentioned it earlier, trailer, people were wondering about it. Now we did get some minor footage, like literally if you put it together, it's like under 2 or 3 seconds from a like combined CW trailer recently. You know, they released those things like, you know, coming soon on the CW, or watch the CW, those weird trailers where they just show a bunch of different footage from different shows. I am going to leave talking about any of the stuff from that for a few days and just come back to it, just come back to like trailer talk as a whole, as I heard that there could be something else coming out sometime soon, whether it is by the weekend or even like early next week. That isn't 100%. I'm going to wait and see. So if that doesn't come out, I'll come back to that minor stuff that we got in that sort of combined trailer in another video with some other stuff attached to it. But I didn't really want to have to talk about that and then do another trailer video like a few days later. I'd rather just condense it. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah, fingers crossed something comes out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and everything we went over. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.